11:50, 10 minutes before noon here in the Twin Cities, 10 minutes for the hour, wherever you're listening live. Michelle, you got to get going. You're going to be late if you don't leave now. This is Religious Radio That's Not Quite Right, Doug Pagitt Radio.
Doug,
also, the personal call-in for Michelle.
I hate to interrupt you.
No, I love being interrupted.
I think Shelly might have just made the come on, geez, you gotta be kidding me with that last segment.
That last segment, if you don't know, Grover's suggesting that Shelly is the recipient of both a come on, you gotta be kidding me, and a cripes with that last segment. So if you just listened to the podcast on this and you zipped ahead, you need to go back and listen to that segment with Shelly and
she lost me on squats and
squats while brushing your teeth. I mean, it's unbelievable. It was fantastic. I mean, if you haven't watched the video of this, her crying herself and almost sliding off of her chair while imagining what it would look like for the very thing that she was suggesting that people do. Oh, that was fantastic. That's why there's radio right there. That's why.
Exactly
that's why everybody does. That's why everybody does all this work, is for that moment right there. And she left. We're having some folks over for lunch today, including a friend of ours who is in the Army and works in special forces in Afghanistan. He's a terrific guy. But she said, hey, the bread that we're having today I got for free, so don't make any crack comments about it. She knows that I always get on us about eating all like freebie ghetto stuff. And so anyway, she had to say, do you love me? And let me tell you now, we're going to be eating old bread, so don't bring it up.
Too late.
A little too late for that. Yep. No, but I think maybe if I say it now, I won't say it later. You know, sort of get it out, of my skull. Hey, in the final segment of each radio installment, I try to bring up something that I say is right on. I call this religious radio that's not quite right, meaning that there's a certain way that religion is talked about in our world, and that's acceptable and normal, and that's not the way I want to do it. I want to see religion being the big conversation, religion that starts with an I don't know and we can pursue, and there's a story bigger than the one that we know, a religion that says that the dividing lines that we put up in our religious structures and systems and beliefs don't serve us very well, and we should recognize them and then move on beyond them. The kind of religious radio that says that many things matter in this world and that we're not going to prioritize one important thing over the other. We're not going to let the good become the competition to the best. The kind of religious radio that wants to include all perspectives, because from there we're all helped out. So that's what I mean by that. And so then I want the show to end with something that I think is right on, something that sort of brings about a sense that there's goodness in the world. And so the little song that I used at the beginning of this segment, you know, sort of calls us to let your faith bring us faith, let your hope bring us hope, let your love bring us love. That's the thing that I think that we ought to do, is build on those good places, build on those good happenings in the world. And so I try to find something each week that I think would call us forward, just as Carly gives us a parenting tip, Shelley gives us a natural health tip. Our friends that come in give us songwriting and religious tips, and how to buy the best food that we can buy. I try to bring about some little right-on, something that makes us look at the world and say, now that's the way that it ought to be. That's the kind of life that we ought to live. And this week, that hint is inspired by a friend of mine who owns a company, a store in this case, and they sell top-quality children's clothing. And she told me that they have a special promotion going on in their store, and it's a promotion that gives 20% off to anybody who makes a purchase and brings in a certificate or a receipt showing that they sponsor an agency or a child or a food program somewhere around the world. So she's saying, if you spend your money giving it to people who are in need around the world, then when you come into my shop, you're going to take 20% off your purchase just by showing that to you, because we want to help out, because we want to chip in. Basically what she's saying is we want to structure into our company the encouragement for people to do good things, that she wants to partner together. And that got me thinking about all these different companies in the world who structure in ways for people to do good. Whether it's a business, a big corporation that says, you take some of the hours that you work every week, if you work a 40 or 50-hour work week, you can take a certain number of those hours and book them away and save them up so that you can go do a service project somewhere in the world and help someone who doesn't have the resources to be helped. I don't know if you know this, but companies do this all the time. In fact, if you work for a company and you don't know if your company does that, go ask your HR people. Go ask them. Say, do we have some kind of a service opportunity benefit built into our structure? And if you don't, then suggest that you create one. That if people can take their actual work hours and go do something good, so that they don't have to work for 13 months in a row without a day off, and then finally get so tired that they just can't come and work that next day. That they build in ways for people to do good things and go suggest it. If you own a business, find a way to build in that people can be helpful in some way. Or there's companies who do matching of contributions. If an employee gives money to a nonprofit or to a relief effort or to something that's socially oriented, then the companies quite often will match that with their own dollars. So they'll set aside funds. Now, there are people who say, well, look, that sounds great in times when things are difficult, when times when things are going well, and the companies have excess that they have to burn, but you just can't afford to do that when times are tough. Well, let me suggest that it really works the other way, that you can't afford not to do it when times are tough. When things are, going well and sort of fat and juicy, well, that's the time when maybe you could say, let's not worry about everybody else. But when things are going tough for employees, for people at their own home, there's nothing that does better for a person than for them to be able to contribute to the general welfare, to the good of another, that someone can create a way for life to be better, more meaningful, more survivable for another person. There's nothing that pushes us to be better at what we want to be doing in our lives than to be able to do the very things that we want to be doing in our lives. And we want to do a lot of things. So if someone wants to work at their company, then the company should encourage them to help them to do the very thing that also builds life in them. So if you sell products, find a way to give a deal to those who are doing good for somebody. If you have an employee, find a way for that employee to do good in the world on their work hours, not just after their work hours. Don't just be nice about letting them leave on time. Build it into your structure. I'm telling you, that kind of contribution, that kind of goodness that is created inside of a work environment is simply going to produce better employees who do a better job and make the world a better place. And nobody, no matter how profit hungry they might be, really wants to spend their life, invest their time, invest their business in things that don't make the world better. So for those companies who do it, and you can chime in, you can let me know, you can tell me about these companies, I'd be glad to give a little Doug Pagitt radio shout out to companies that do this kind of thing. Oscar and Bell, a little kids clothing store over in Linden Hills, they give you a discount on purchases if you make contributions to World Vision. So if you're part of that organization and you make contributions, you should look up Oscar and Bell online. Go see them over there at 43rd and Upton. They're the kind of people who do this for you, that there's companies who take care of their employees by encouraging them to do good things on their work hours. So my right on this week, my what faith brings us faith, what hope brings us hope, what love brings us love, it is those who structure into their businesses, structure into their lives, the ability for themselves and others to do good in an intentional way in the world that we live in. This is Doug Pagitt Radio, religious radio that's not quite right, but seeks to be right on every now and again. We'll talk to you again next week on AM 950, the voice of Minnesota.